Welcome to a slightly incoherent review of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Now, the movie is directed by Sam Rammy and stars Benedict Cumberbatch, Benedict Wong, Rachel McAdams, Elizabeth Olsen, and Shotel Gomez, and tells the story of Doctor Strange's experience with the multiverse. Now, this review will remain spoiler-free for the most part, as I'd like people to check out the movie themselves and form their own opinion. If we manage to get enough likes on this video, I'd be happy to put out a spoiler-friendly review sometime within the next week. Now back to the movie. Doctor Strange finds himself in a situation where he must help out a young girl while battling a dark corrupted force that seeks to use the girl for their own gain. As far as the story goes, there really isn't anything original to write home about the premise. In fact, the movie gets off to a messy start and takes a while to eventually settle and be on its way. Coming out of the theatre, I akin the narrative of the movie to a loose rope that goes in several directions before it eventually goes taut. This happens around the halfway point, and it is at this time that Doctor Strange truly takes off. It's been over a decade since Sam Raimi last directed a big screen venture, the extremely disappointing Oz the Great and the Powerful. Raimi, famous for kickstarting the superhero genre with the 2000 Spider-Man franchise, and of course the delectable Evil Dead franchise, is back in the director's chair for this, and surprisingly gets to bring his skill set to the table for us all to see. Which is kind of insane given who this movie is targeted towards. For all intents and purposes, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is the superhero genre's first real horror entry. There's plenty of nightmare fuel in this movie, especially in the latter half of the film, that is sure to keep many a child up at night in terror. Of course, it does have the classic Rammy humor attached to it, and many a time I found myself laughing at the sheer absurdity of the horror that was unfolding on screen. There are several nods and callbacks to Drag Me to Hell, one hilarious Evil Dead inspired cameo, and some gleefully terrifying visuals, all tied together by Danny Elfman's wonderful Hell on String score. The story by Michael Waldron, who also wrote the wonderful Loki series, is where the issue primarily lies. For all its strengths, the movie feels rushed. There are times, especially in the first half, where set pieces take precedent over character development, and that doesn't exactly help the audience connect or care for the characters in moments where there has to be an emotional payoff. It doesn't land, and that's not on the actors, who are all delivering great performances. As for shoehorning cameos, I didn't particularly care for them much either. I thankfully stayed away from the intense cameo speculation that had been building over the last few months, so I wasn't expecting to see anyone else in the film than the ones who said they'd be in it. I feel No Way Home set cameo expectations at an all-time high, and Doctor Strange prefers to not rise up and top it. It instead exits in its own space, where the director of the film is its main star. The performances in this movie, as I mentioned earlier, are all terrific. Shotel Gomez pulls a lot more than expected out of her character. Both the Bens are excellent as always, but the movie truly belongs to Elizabeth Olsen. Her story arc, although slightly rushed, is excellent, and she really pulls out her A-game here to devastating effect. If you haven't watched WandaVision, I highly recommend that you do before you catch this movie, because it assumes that you've already caught up with Wanda's story. Now, I see how this is probably going to derail the MCU in the future if Marvel isn't careful, but here they get away with it. In conclusion, I had a really fun time with Doctor Strange 2. It definitely is one of the more unique entries to have come out of the MCU in the last few years, and although not perfect, has plenty going for it. Check it out in a movie theatre near you soon. Also, thank you for making to the end of our very first video. Please help us by liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Let us know what you thought of the movie in the comments below, and we'll see you very soon.